Hi guys, welcome to my channel. I am Simi. If you're new here, welcome. If you've been here before, you already know the vibes on this here channel. Today's video, as you can probably already tell by the title, is about moon rituals. So this is something that I've been doing for the last 2 years, and I've posted a couple of times, mid ceremony and post ceremony, just kind of show you guys what it's about. But I think it's really a topic that needs its own video and its own explanation, just to contextualize, the principles, the origins of the principles of these kinds of rituals, where they were birthed, just to give you the background and the why and how. So today I'm actually going to give you a step-by-step guide on how to perform these rituals on your own, in your own time, in your house. But before I do that, I'm just gonna delve into a little bit of the background about these kinds of rituals and where they come from. To better understand the founding principles of these rituals, we need to look at the concept of cosmic resonance. This concept is really beautifully and thoroughly laid out and explained in the book that I'm currently reading. It's called The Sacred Magic of Ancient Egypt. I encourage you to do your own research. Maybe you could find your own sources. Otherwise, you could just grab a copy of this book yourself and read it. In modern life, we no longer use our sense of cosmic orientation, which was in ancient times the way that we related to the natural world around us. As a result of this, we've lost our wholeness and our integration as part of a larger system, and our relationship with the outside world has really diminished and died. All life in ancient Egypt was placed within the context of this cosmic orientation, and the tools with which we navigated this cosmic orientation were astronomy, geography, geometry, and architecture. These tools were taught and practiced in an environment that really encouraged the recognition of nature and the acknowledgement of our partnership with nature and natural and divine forces. In this context, good spiritual work, or true spiritualism, was seen as the maintenance of this relationship between ourselves, and this partnership also between ourselves and natural and divine forces. One of ancient Egyptians' beliefs was that all life was dependent upon nature's cycles, rhythms, and seasons. Of these cycles, the two luminaries, being the sun and the moon, were seen as representing the rhythms or the cycles that were most relevant to human life. Scholars believe that the lunar cycle is actually the first way or method that was used by ancient Egyptians to track time. So the tracking of the cycle would commence at the first light of, the new crescent moon to the next. So from new moon to new moon, although not exactly from the day of the new moon, as they were visual and used the light. And we know, or now that the light of a new moon is not immediately visible, and so it was from first light to first light. Right, now that we've got that covered, it's time to get into the step-by-step guide on how to actually perform these on your own. These are super easy, really simple. Yeah, let's just get into it. So the method that I use is scribing. So pouring your intention into a piece of paper, right? Which forms part of the elements originally, where it comes from. If you watched my previous video, you'll have some context and some background as to why that's important. I will link that up here right now, so you can maybe go and watch it if you haven't watched it yet. So yes, get out your notebook and your pen and, have that ready. The first thing you want to do is cleanse your space. So if you're doing this correctly and you're calling upon the elements, and if you're like me and you're choosing to open the lines and channels of communication between you and nature and the ancestors and deities and whatever other beings of light you might want to call on and communicate with during the ceremony, it's a good idea to cleanse your space. So get a Palo Santo or white sage would also work. Cleansing herbs, or whatever else you can use to, because I'm sure there's multiple things that you could use to cleanse your space. So whatever you can find around the house, do that, light that, say a prayer of cleansing, and you're good to go for the next step. So what you're going to do next is you're going to open the channels. Now you take in Beb and you light it, and you open and you pray and you call everybody that you want to talk to. So if you are religious, this is where you'll just say God, God. And if you're open to exploring other lines and channels of communications, this is when you'll call upon your ancestors and any other energies and entities of light that might want to come in and assist you at this time. Cool. Once you've called everyone in and you're feeling serene and connected, that's when you start writing. You start scribing. An important thing to note here, and a tip I want to give you, is let me just backtrack a little bit. So these steps would be the same for both new moon and full moon ceremonies. So I do two. On a new moon like today, what's the day today, guys? It's the 15th of November and it's a new moon in Scorpio. So today would have been a new moon ceremony. The next one I will do will be at the full moon. So on a new moon, I ask for things that I want to bring in, and on a full moon, I offer things up into the universe that I would like to let go of, or that I need assistance with in order to process, let go of, etc. So let's come back to the steps. So a tip that I wanted to give you was that make sure that whatever it is that you're asking for is something that you really, really desire from the bottom of your heart. Make sure you know what you want. That's actually the most important thing, because if it's coming from deep within your core, the intention and the intensity of that intention, when you scribe and you pour it out onto the paper and into the ether, when we transmute it with the fire, is going to be much more potent and much more effective than a desire that isn't really fueled by anything. Meaning that if you see someone has this, you put it down on your manifestation list and it's not really your desire to begin with. Make sure that this is your desire, you know why, how you want to see it manifest, So yes, you continue, you write everything down, and once that's down, you say a prayer, okay? You fold the paper up or whatever, that's not important. You say the prayer, and as you say the prayer and you talk, you burn it. This is an involving and an calling in on all the elements. A big thing in working with natural forces is the transmutation of energies using the elements, okay? It gives your manifestations and your prayers a little bit of a boost when you can when you can anchor them with the elements. So that would really be it. And once you're done, you dispose of it, ash to ash or ash to ground, whatever. You put the ash in the ground, you can scatter it in your yard, you can bury it. If you were offering fruits up, and you were burning candles or whatever, you can bury those in the ground if you want to. You can really remix this and mix it up and tweak it to your liking and your own spiritual practice. Go with your gut and your intuition. Look at how other people are doing it and then figure out what feels good to you, what feels more effective to you, and go with that. So really, that's all there is to it. It's not that complicated. It's really simple. It's really easy. Give it a try. Give it 6 months or so, and do a new moon ceremony, do a full moon ceremony, and then come back here and tell me if you've seen any changes in your life or in your spirit since you've started doing these. Anyway, I think that's all I have for you today, guys. I will see you in the next one.